Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is James Lloyd Gadingan, and I am going to talk today about the legal framework of work. This is the last chapter of our class this sem, the chapter 18. So, I am going to talk first about the framework objectives. This is the report objective also. We have 7 objectives. So first, we have demonstrate the great extent to which the regulation of workplaces and labor markets has increased in recent decades. 2, introduce the contract of employment in its significance in the regulation of employment. 3, we have explain and illustrate the major principles of discrimination, law, and defenses that employers can deploy when accused of unlawful actions in this area. Fourth, we have summarized the major principle underpinning and criminal and civil law aspects of health and safety regulations. Fifth, we have the set out of major family-friendly employment rights that have been introduced in recent years. 6, introduce the law regulating worker time and national minimum wage. And lastly, we have debate the extent to which employment law is best characterized as a benefit or a burden from the point of view of employing organizations. So, regulatory revolutions. 40 years ago, this is the so-called less regulation. It was a long-standing tradition for the state to make a virtue of not intervening in the relationship between employers and employees, except when it was absolutely necessary to do so. So, over the years, in the past, hindi po ganon ang hindi po ganoon ang regulation na meron tayo sa between employers and employees. So, hindi po nakikipag-intervene ang government. So, at least ngayon, alright? So, today it is a wide range of legally imposed restrictions that limit employers' freedom to manage people and run their organization as they please. Aims to provide some rebalancing and power relationship between employers and employees. So, and to promote good practice in people management via flexible working and partnership. So, yan po ang revolution ng regulation. So, next we have the contract of employment. So later on, we're going to discuss the importance of employment contract. So it satisfies the essential requirements and the minimum statutory standard prescribed by the labor code. So types of contract, we have the oral and the written. Those oral contract are likely yung mga employees po with their employers na halimbawa mga kasambahay, yung mga service providers po natin ng mga kababayan. Sila po yung under this type of contract that sasabihin lang kung halimbawa ilang araw ka magtatrabaho, ilang oras ka magtatrabaho, magkano ang sahod mo, mga ganun po. So, while in the written, it is a more formal employment type of contract that are likely ginagamit po sa mga for example, ginagamit sa employees in the company or in the organizations like sa mga SM, sa banks, sa government, yan po yung mga ginagamit na written. So, next, ano po yung mga nakapaloob sa employment contract. We have the job position and status, kung contractual po ba. We have also job order, coterminous, and permanent. So yan po yung job position and status. Job description, kung ano po yung eksakto na trabaho o magiging trabaho mo sa company. So when it comes to pay, kung magkano po yung regular pay mo, overtime rate, allowances, and other what do you call this one? The other pay or the housing and transportations. So next we have employee benefits. So kung ano po yung mga social benefits mo sa company while you stay in the company. So length and condition of the probationary period. Meron po tayong 3 months, 6 months, even 1 year meron pong probationary period depending on the kind of job that you have and the type of company you work into. So periods of notice normally ito po yung halimbawa pagka mga rules po ito ng company, no, na ini-impose nila. Halimbawa sa pagbibigay ng resignation, we have at least 2 months notice prior po nung effective date. So also part of the employment contract is the code of conduct, the ethics, respect, the honesty, and the integrity. Yan po, nakabaloob din po yan sa employment contract. And also, the criteria for the employee grievance mechanism, kung meron pong mga complaint and everything, lahat po yan naka-detailed. And company policies regarding with leaves, regarding with personal days, vacation days, lahat po yan naka-indicate sa employment contract. You just have to read every single detail of an employment contract. So working hours and overtime. Normally we have an 8 hours daily work. So it is 48 hours a week. We have the meal break at least 1 hour. It is not part of the 8 hours. So 8 hours you stay and the work 1 hour for unpaid meal break. So we have also the 15 or 20 minutes coffee break. This is a day, and we have at least this is mandatory by the law or the labor code. We have at least 1 rest day for every week. So next, we have the overtime. Employees who work in excess 8 hours per day are entitled to overtime pay equivalent to the applicable wage rate plus at least 25% thereof. So overtime pay per hour mo, kung magkano po yung per hour nyo is plus yung overtime pay is plus 1/4 minimum of your per hour pay. So leave, holidays are entitled 12, or some employers give 13 at least regular holidays each years. So working during holidays, double regular pay. So ito po yung standard, no? Kung kayo po ay nagwo-work under holidays, meron po tayong mga, for example, ano po ba yung mga holidays na working holidays? Meron tayong tinatawag na mga special non-working, special working. Lahat po yan entitled po tayo, pag nag-render po tayo ng services or duties, entitled po tayo ng double pay, or this is the double regular pay. Paid holidays are 12 days. Non-working holidays, unpaid holidays, we have 3 days in a year. So sick leave. As per the law, employees are not entitled to statutory sick leave. Employees are granted sick leave though through a voluntary employer policy and collective bargaining agreements. So this is the discretion of the company kung paano po nila ini-implement sa company nila yung mga ganitong leave. Sa amin po dito, pag nagsisick leave ka, kailangan mo ng medical report. So you really have to go to the hospital or the clinic and have this medical report presented when you're going back to work. So parental leave, Philippines labor law grants maternity leave 75 days paid for the mother, and the paternity leave 7 days paid. So 7 days paid leave. It is also, as per the law, employees are not entitled further leave beyond this grant in the labor law. So this is granted law equals granting equal rights to all. So next, as I have said earlier, we are going to discuss about the importance of employment contract. So employment contracts forms of essential part of doing business in the Philippines and establishes the rights and obligations of both employer and employees. With a surplus of low-cost labor available in the Philippines, an employment contract can help private companies hire workers as per their business conditions, business requirements, and ensure that ensure better talent acquisition. However, employers must ensure that drafted contract conforms to all legal requirements laid down by the Philippines labor laws to avoid any monetary or criminal liability. Further, to ensure legally complying well-drafted employment contract, employers must seek legal assistance about clauses to include and avoid in the contract. So, yun po yun, no? Importance ng contract, employment contract in every organization or company. So we have the discrimination law. The Bill of Rights in 1987 Constitution guarantees for equal protection for every Filipinos and prohibits discrimination of persons based on ethnicity, race, religion, or belief, political inclination, social class, sex, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, civil status, medical condition, or any other status in the employment of rights. So, yan po naka-indicate sa Bill of Rights on the 1987 Constitution. And also, the state values the dignity of every human person and guarantees full respect for human rights. Section 11, Article 11, 1987 Constitution. Yan po yung nakapaloob. So you have every right not to be discriminated at all. So types of discrimination. So hindi naman kasi talaga maiwasan from pag-aaral pa lang. Minsan may mga bully talaga. Minsan nakaka-experience tayo ng discrimination. So nasa sayo na lang po kung paano nyo po i-take ito at paano nyo po panlalabanan. So we have here the types of discrimination. We have sex, age, marital status, pregnant status, solo parent status, disability, mental health condition, ethnicity, actual perceived or suspected HIV status, having cancer or being a cancer survivor, having tuberculosis, having hepatitis B, or disability. So these all are pwede po tayong ma-discriminate with this list here. So pwede pong ma-experience natin yan. So, I hope na hindi naman po natin yan may experience sa ating work site or sa kung ano pong ginagawa natin or to the people who are around us. So, next, we have the Sexual Harassment Act of 1995, Republic Act number 7877. So employers to formulate and adopt policies to prevent, deter the commission of acts of sexual harassment, among others. So this is a mandates employers to formulate and adopt policies. Yun nga po na bawal po yung mga harassment sa work site, especially pag magkasama kayo sa work. So bawal po yun. Anyone or anybody na maka-experience ng sexual harassment, meron po tayong batas na pwede pong panagutin ang sino man pong nagko-commit ng sexual harassment. This is non-gender law, no? Pwede po ito sa babae, pwede din po sa lalaki. So hindi lamang po ibig sabihin na babae po kayo is kayo lang po yung pwede magreklamo. Meron din po kasi talaga mga lalaki na nakaka-experience ng sexual harassment sa worksite man or kung saan man. So, next, we have the Safe Spaces Act or the Republic Act number 11313. Imposes the duty of employers or other persons of authority, influence of moral ascendancy in the workplace to prevent, deter or punish the commission of acts of gender-based sexual harassment in the workplace. So, dito sa case ko, dito sa Saudi Arabia, lahat po ng mga workers dito, meron po silang mga safe spaces. For example, yung mga babae, meron po silang separate na comfort room, meron po silang separate na lounge. Minsan, yung offices nila nakatago po or naka-cover po, hindi po sila na-expose. So, lahat po yan kino-consider ng mga company. And also, in the Philippines, they provide also safe spaces in the work site. Discrimination defenses. Discrimination defenses or the bona fide occupational qualification. This is valid provided it reflects the inherent quality reasonably necessary for the satisfactory performance. So, yun po. The ability to invoke a bona fide occupational where a particular requirements job would be justify the same and possible defense discrimination claim would be valid. It reflects the inherent quality, reasonable, necessary, satisfactory of job performance. So next, we have the enforcing discrimination rights. Employees may file a complaint in order to enforce their discrimination rights, and employer may settle the claims at any stage of a claiming proceeding. So, once na isang employee is nakaka-experience po sila ng discrimination, is pwede po sila mag-file ng complaint sa company or sa mga authority kung saan po para po formal na maghain ng reklamo laban sa kung ano po ang na-discriminate sa kanila. But then again, the employer may settle the claims at any stage of the claiming proceeding. So pwede po sila makipag-areglo. Depende na lang po 'yon kung ano pong mapagkasunduan nila. So remedies of discrimination claims, money and action claims, typical and quick remedy. So it's the money claims. Experience po yan ng nakakarami na nakaka-experience ng discrimination. Reinstatement, If the discrimination results in illegal dismissal, an employee may be rewarded reinstatement or separation pay in lieu of reinstatement, fullback wages, and damages. For example, you have a 2-year contract, 2 years contract in the company, and you were na-reinstate po kayo, no, or na-dismiss po kayo, no, uh, without finishing your contract or 2-year contract. So if in the event na napatunayan na wala po kayong kasalanan and yet dinismiss po kayo ng company, then you are entitled of full back wages or reinstatement or pagbabalik mo sa company or a separation pay. So lahat po yon babayaran, separation pay, full back wages, kung ilan po yung natitirang months, sasahurin mo po yon, no? That's it. Additional protection laws, typical employees, Philippines has no additional protection aside from discriminating rights. So lagi po tayo nagbe-base doon sa discrimination rights natin bilang empleyado ng samot-saring company. Whistleblowers are employees raise concern about corporate malpractice. The Philippines does not have whistleblowers protection law. Minsan sa work natin, meron tayong mga nire-report na mga maling gawain ng mga kasamahan natin. You really have to make sure na pag gagawin nyo po yon or gagawin po ng mga kakilala natin is make sure na hindi po may expose yung identity natin bilang tayo ang nag-report ng mga irregularities sa company or mga gawain ng iba nating mga kasamahan. So immunity or rewards available to whistleblowers or people who give certain information to the government under the certain laws. Dito po pumapasok yung mga investigations, yung meron po tayo mga secret agent na mga sila po yung nag-investigate in relation to taxes and graft and corruption. So minsan yung kung sino po yung nakakapagbigay ng essential na information, nagkakaroon po ng rewards, or kung ikaw naman po ang may hawak ng halimbawa ng isang evidence or evident na tapos part po kayo ng crime, is pwede po kayo magkaroon ng immunity. So maternity and paternity rights. So maternity leave rights, employers, employees have entitled 105 of maternity leave with pay. So yan po, para sa mga nanay na bago manganak at after manganak, meron po kayong 105 days of maternity leave with pay. So a woman has the right not to be terminated from the employment solely due to her pregnancy or by reason of maternity leave benefits under the Philippine Labor Code. She has the right to extend her maternity leave for an additional 30 days without pay. So pwede po kayo magdagdag ng 30 days. Yun nga lang, wala na po siyang bayad. So next, we have maternity leave also benefits shall be assured of the security of tenure and the right to return to their former position without loss of any seniority rights. So on the other hand, paternity and parental leave rights, Republic Act 8187, Paternity Leave Act, a male employee is entitled to paternity leave benefit not less than 7 days. This is with pay, of course, and up to first 4-hour deliveries of his legitimate spouse. Republic Act 8972, the Solo Parents Welfare Act, entitled Solo Parents Employees to parental leave or not more than 7 working days every year to perform parental duties and responsibilities where physical presence is required. So dito you just have to makipag-ugnayan po sa local or municipal welfare office, no? Para po ma-establish yung pagiging solo parents ng bawat empleyado. So meron po silang mga meron po silang certain na mga registration or bibigyan po kanila ng magpo-provide po sila ng mga identification. If you're a solo parent, then you can avail these benefits. Health and safety law. So Republic Act 11054 or the OSH law, the act of strengthening compliance with occupational safety and health, OSH standards and providing penalties for violators thereof. This is signed into law by President Rodrigo Duterte and August 2018. Provides that each Filipino worker is protected against injury, sickness, death through safe and healthy working conditions. So this also applies to all establishment, project, sites, including Philippine Economic Zone, Authority or the PEZA, establishment, and all over other workplaces. So this should be provided by the employers, no? Meron po dapat tayong safety, health and safety sa mga every work sites na tatrabahuan natin. The national minimum wage. The national minimum wage in the NCR, the minimum wage of non-agriculture is 570, while the agriculture, plantation and non-plantation, we have 533. The other service, retail, manufacturing establishment, employing 15 workers or less, or manufacturing regularly employing less than 10 workers, they will receive a 530 minimum wage in the NCR. So this is Manila, Quezon City, Marikina, Pasig, Pasay, Malabon. These areas in the NCR will receive this minimum wage. So the daily minimum wage rates per region. So we have, yes, the NCR, the CAR, from NCR, CAR, Region 1 to Region 13. We have also the BARM, Autonomous Region Muslim Mindanao. So diyan nyo po nakikita, no? Nakikita po natin kung magkano po yung mga minimum wage based po doon sa region. In the Region 12, particularly in Soxargen, this is Region 12, we receive 347 to 368, depending po yan sa type of company or type of work sites na meron po tayo. So the bigger the company, the bigger the minimum wage. So yun po sabi kanina, kung yung company is employing less than 10 or 15 employees, most likely sila po yung nakaka-receive ng lower minimum rates. Okay? Wage deductions, this is according to law. This is mandate. This is mandatory deductions. Mandatory deductions, we have withholding taxes, we have the NHIP or the PhilHealth contributions, na sa ngayon, I think nasa 400 pesos, no? Nasa 400 pesos per month. But this is half. This is 50-50 by the employers and the employees. So the total contribution of the PhilHealth should be 400 as per the law. Or the MFDF, we have the Home Development Mutual Fund contribution. We have the SSS, GSIS, or security contributions. So yan po yung mga deductions. Employment law. What do you think is the employment law, benefit or burden? If I may ask, benefit or burden? So in the side of the employer, it is a burden because increases employment cost, reduces freedom. So tingin ng mga employer, no, this is a burden. This is employment law. This is burden for them because they cannot just simply implementing rules by their own, but they have to be regulated by by the law or the labor code of the Philippines. Organization and employees benefit, helping to ensure reasonable wage and bring economic advantage to organizations. So para naman sa mga organizations, some other organizations and employees, this is beneficial to them because meron pong law na nagre-regulate sa mga karapatan ng bawat empleyado sa bawat company na meron. So I think that's all my report, and these are the references I took I considered on having my reports. That was the end of my slide. Thanks for watching and have a great day, everyone. Thank you very much.